Well, that was fast. Here I am in the middle of the night, my middle of the night podcast sweater. I haven't done this in a while because it only took a couple hours. It was a quick read. Once again, we're finished for now till next year, I guess. Murder at Havens Rock, we did the other day. And The Boy Who Cried Bear, we did yesterday. And today we're finishing off with Cold as Hell. And one more time, we're going to be spending most of the book searching in the woods. And if we're not searching in the woods, we're worried about Casey's pregnancy. All right. So, Casey is the detective, and Dalton, or Eric, is her husband. He's the sheriff, but he has book smarts. She has real life smarts. Andrews is the deputy. April is her sister. Jacob is Dalton's brother. He has a minuscule part in this book. Minuscule. We don't know what his role is, or maybe they're just visiting. I forget. Don't quote me on that. And Nicole, his wife. So I don't know what Dalton's role is. He should maybe be another policeman or something. I have no idea what his role is, and I kept thinking it should have been more important. It should have been doing something. But they're seen very, very slightly in the book. So we start the book off with Kendra, and she's one of the community peoples, and she's been roofied in my term. It's another term, but that's my term for it. She's been roofied, dragged out to the woods, and left spread eagle staked to die of no clothes on, hypothermia. She's found. She's brought back to town. She's barely alive, but it works. No rape or anything like that. So the investigation starts to pursue. Again, we're out in the woods. Again, we're searching out in the woods. Again, we're interviewing all the town's residents. And then, then we're worried about the pregnancy and the Braxton Hicks, and the baby is breached, and we need to make medical arrangements for Casey to go out of town. And in the meantime, a huge blizzard comes through. Can't see in front of your face blizzard. A second resident goes missing. This particular resident is found deceased. So then the husband is questioned, and the potential boyfriend is questioned, and he denies all. No relationship at all, strictly platonic. The finger gets pointed that way, that way, that way, that way. You have like 4 male suspects, and they are questioned over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I don't get that same sense that I do at my C.S. Harris, my Sebastian St. Cyr series. He goes to person 1 and he gets a little. And then he goes to person B and gets another little bit. And then he goes to C and gets another little bit. And then he gets to person D and gets him. And he's like, oh shit, A didn't tell me this. So he got to go back to A and gets a little more information. And does the circle. And each time he approaches the people, he gets just an extra tad bit of information. Oh, you didn't ask that question. Oh, blah, 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 blah. So it's a circle, and it's sometimes it gets frustrating because you're like, damn, if this person had just said XYZ, we wouldn't have to, but that's part of the book, that's part of the plot. So we keep questioning these people, and the fingers keep getting pointed, and I get really upset at the husband, Grant. They suspect he was abusing his wife, but they never could prove it. They were always trying to get Lynn to say stuff. She never would say stuff. And then she's been missing for almost 24 hours before he says something. Well, I just thought she was with her lover. That's why I didn't say anything. And the wind got too bad and she couldn't make it home in the storm. You just want to shoot the guy. You really do. And they even lock him up for a while. They lock a couple of people up for a couple of different reasons in a couple of different parts of the story. And neither guy... And then, of course, you have her pregnancy thing come in. And it's like... It's just, I don't know. Having miscarried myself a few times, it's just, that's one thing that really, I'm sorry for those of you who are parents and people out there that have children out there. that's great for you, and I'm kind of jealous because I would love to be in your situation, absolutely love it, but I'm not. So I get a little, I'd rather not read books about pregnancy for what all that went on in my personal life. It just makes me jealous of the people that do have successful pregnancies. So, you see the kids screaming in the stores and stuff like that. And I sort of kind of wish, I was in their shoes just for a couple minutes. But anyways, let's get back to it. So, we're searching the woods over and over and over and over and over again. Casey's the 8 months along pregnant person. This book takes place 8 months after the other one. It's 7 to 8 months after the other book. And so she's full-blown pregnant. She's not supposed to walk around. They spend like chapters upon chapters going, you have to sit down, you're not allowed to work more than an hour, there are pregnancy restrictions. She's not allowed to be on her feet more than an hour, and her husband doesn't want her on her feet more than 30 minutes. And yet, they end up searching in the woods, and searching in the woods, and searching in the woods, and she's spending all this time on her feet. You see what I'm saying here? And it's just like, it gets old fast. The searching in the woods, especially when she's this pregnant, and there's supposed to be all these restrictions, and they keep breaking all these restrictions. And I don't mean it like that, but there's this one series, and it made a big deal, and this is kind of stupid to compare it to, but it's just a thing. This in the Regency, especially in the Regencies, a girl couldn't be seen with a guy unless they were in public, unless they had a chaperone, and the chaperone worked a couple of feet. They couldn't be seen, with a gentleman. They had to have a chaperone, especially if they were unmarried, all that kind of stuff. And I have this one series that tried to stick with that, and then it just gave up. And then this other person came in, this other character came in temporarily, and kept pushing that thing again, and it just went out the window. So I got tired of they kept doing these rules and regulations for Casey, but then Casey kept breaking them. And Dalton was with her when she broke them. He was doing the searching in the woods, and so she even had this slice thing, but then she ended up not using it for half the stuff. So and you had all your suspects, and the husband was accusing all these different people, and saying these people and this person, his wife. They paid attention to his wife. One guy's getting framed, expertly framed, and they keep talking to this one guy, and they know he's being framed, but they don't know what's it out there, and they keep questioning, and then they question this other guy, and then they question this other guy, and it's just like, good God, I'm over it now. I've had 3 books of searching and searching. I'm tired of searching in the woods. And it's snowing, and it's cold. And, and then it turns out that this guy is really evil. So, look. Sebastian knocks on Dalton and Casey's door. Kendra is in the clinic. She tells her story to Casey. Casey investigates the crime scene. Then they talk to Sebastian. Then she spends her time with her sister-in-law and Jacob, and it's very, very briefly. Then Casey talks to Anders about the case. And then, they talk about the marital strain that Lynn was having, etc., 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 etc. And they talk about that potential of Grant being an abuser, but they never actually found any proof of the abuser. And in all these kind of cases, they always suspect the husband first, so they got to question him. And then the husband blames Sebastian, and somebody else blames Matthias, and somebody else blames Theory. And then they have to discuss the stuff, and Yolanda gets in on it, and she's mad that she's not being included in all the town meetings as the board member, as a person in her position. And it's just, uh, it's just, and then they eventually leave town. All right, let me back up here before I get it. Kendra, drugged first, left in the woods to die, found, brought back, lives. The second lady, Lynn, same situation, left in the woods, tied down to die, dies. The finger is pointed at the husband and some Theory and Sebastian and Matthias, I think that's how it's said. And she questions them all. They question the town. They question the residents. They go and search in the woods, and then they do this and back in the woods, and then they question people, and then they go back in the woods, and then they question people, and then they leave town for the baby because we got the baby situation. There's lots of baby situation, lots of there's some false alarms. There's some serious issues with the baby. The baby could be breached. April could do a cesarean section, but she doesn't want to do her first cesarean section on her sister. And they go out of town. And before they do that, Yolanda is taken. But Yolanda is found, and she lives. And then Casey and Eric do go out of town, and Casey has an epiphany. She talks to Emil. Emil is the head lady that was funding the situation and was doing all the investigations into all the people. And she discovers she has a massive, massive light bulb moment. They get back in the plane without seeing any doctors in Carson City, and they get back to Havenhurst, and there's your several climax endings here. We got the baby situation. We get another hostage situation. We get another there's a whole bunch of situations and a whole bunch of last minute stuff that just explode in your face. It just comes all at you. We spent the whole book searching, pregnancy, questioning. I should do that better. Searching, questioning, pregnancy, searching, rescue, or let's say recovering, questioning, investigating scene, pregnancy issue, right? I'm sorry. It was a really quick read. It was just getting old. I was like, I said in my last video, so I guess we're gonna be spending the next book searching in the woods, and we did. And Casey gets put into a harrowing, life-threatening situation, and the killer turns out to be massively cold-blooded. And for the second time in a row, because it happened in the last book, there's an additional killing of the bad guy. The bad guy got killed in the last book under suspicious circumstances. Are they going to do anything about it? It doesn't feel like they're going to do anything about it. They didn't do anything about it here. It was just left. The killer was brought to justice by someone in the miners' camp. I believe that's my guess. But this one, I believe, was handled by someone in Havens Rock. But that's just my guess. And it was just left, and I'm like, what? That's it. And that was it. So we'll see what happens next year. We'll see what happens next year. There you go. This is my middle of the night podcast. In my middle of the night podcast close. I hope you have and please don't forget to like and subscribe. I completely forgot all about that. I always do. If someone could please like and subscribe, I'd most appreciative. Thank you. Have a good one.